people hear auto repair and it doesn't exactly scream exciting or sexy.
Hey, my guest on this episode is Clare Corriveau. She's VP of Marketing at Tekmetric. They are the operating system for modern auto repair shops. And she came to Tekmetric 3 years ago after a background in cybersecurity. We talk about how this was a jarring but ultimately refreshing switch from a crowded, commoditized market to an underserved vertical SaaS category. Since she joined, Tekmetric has 4x its growth, but the company still today holds only 5% of a 250,000 auto repair shops in the US. And so it's really cool to talk to someone outside of a traditional industry. What's it like trying to market to people who own auto repair shops? We talk about the power of brand and community.
The interesting thing about a vertical SaaS market too is just the growth opportunities with it. There's 250,000 auto repair shops in the US. We're the largest cloud-based player, and we only have 5% of the market share.
Her vision for the team, why she's hiring humans, not just AI, to do the marketing.
1 is build the brand, 2 is build the advocacy flywheel, 3 is land acquisition, and 4 is expand. But I don't think that replaces the human component of being strategic and actually knowing who our customers are. We sell and market into, at Tekmetric, a very, very human industry.
This was a great conversation with a marketing leader, and I guess what you would call mid-market vertical SaaS in B2B. If that's you, you're going to learn a lot from this episode. Find a peer to connect with. Enjoy my conversation with Clare.
1, 2, 3, 4. Exit.
Clare Corriveau, she's VP of Marketing at Tekmetric. Tekmetric is the operating system for the modern auto repair shop. Clare, good to have you on our podcast here at Exit 5. I need a soundboard. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm stoked. Thanks for having me.
One of the reasons we want to have you on, obviously we've gotten to know you over the last year or so, but do you run marketing at a company that is in a little bit more of a traditional industry? And I love highlighting these types of companies and stories because I think a lot of people out there, that's what's cool to me about B2B marketing. Actually, I try to make it cool. People say it's boring. I talk to a lot of people. I know it's not boring. I did a podcast last week with Rob Sobers, who's also one of our executive members. And he is the CMO of a $700 million cybersecurity company. He's like, oh yeah, we built a briefing center in Miami. And that's like a part of our marketing strategy this year. I'm like, whoever said B2B is not cool doesn't understand.
Yeah, Rob's great. I love Rob. Super smart.
So you run marketing at Tekmetric today. In your words, since you're a marketer, how would you explain the company for the other marketers? Like, I like to just set the context up front so people can listen to what you say about marketing, but have the context of the company that you work at.
Sure. Yeah. So Tekmetric is the all-in-one platform for auto repair shops. And so our mission is pretty simple, which I like, which is help shops thrive, help them deliver an experience that drivers love. So you and me, right? We're all customers of an auto repair shop, and do it in a way the whole industry rallies behind. And I think what that means in practice is, like, what do we actually do? As an all-in-one platform, it's everything from the moment you as a driver search on Google to try and find an auto repair shop near you, from the moment the car drives into the shop, from the moment the car drives away. So it's advertising, it's online appointment booking, text reminders, digital vehicle inspections, creating estimates, repair orders, parts ordering, invoicing, payments, reporting for the shop. So everything under one roof for a shop. So they have every advantage from, like I said, the moment a customer searches for an auto repair shop near me, to the moment that customer drives away and then hopefully comes back again, if and when they have car needs.
And then roughly, like, how big is the company, and your like roughly give the makeup of the marketing team?
Sure. So I think we are at close to 400 employees now, maybe 388, which is wild. When I joined 2.5 years ago, I think I'm employee number like 121 or something. So I feel like an OG. I always say Tekmetric years, you times it by 7. That's how long you've actually been here, because it's like working for 7 different companies over 2.5 years at the pace that we're growing. And so our marketing team has grown from, let's see, I think when I started, there was maybe 4 or 5 people. And now we have 17 full-time employees, 3 to 4 contractors, have 9 new roles in the second half of the year for marketing, just the marketing team alone. So we're growing really, really fast. It's fun.
What did you do before this? You were working in running marketing in cybersecurity?
Yes. took a hard pivot into auto repair, but
I thought this was good. I don't know if this is producer Marissa, or our AI summary of the notes, but a jarring but ultimately refreshing switch from a crowded commoditized market to an underserved vertical SaaS category. How did your experience from cybersecurity translate over here? It seems very different. I'm curious. And I wrote this thing yesterday, how like there's really no marketing playbooks. You have to take a smart person, have them understand the industry. I'd love to try to like just summarize some of the big stuff before we get into some of the other stuff, which we'll touch on. Like just your 3 years there.
Sure. So I came from cybersecurity before this, and before that I was in fintech. And so when I was recruited to Tekmetric, when they first told me about the company, I was like, auto repair? Like, ugh, like I don't know anything about cars. Like I'm literally that person. Like I take my car to the auto repair shop when I needed my oil changed or my tires rotated. And if anything else is wrong, I call my dad, right? And I'm like, Dad, they say I need new brakes. What should I do? I think people hear auto repair and it doesn't, exactly scream exciting or sexy. And I think marketers hear it and think maybe unglamorous and low ceiling. But I'll be honest, and, I did too at first, but I think what people don't see right off the bat is the massive underserved market that's there. And I think in horizontal SaaS, you're one of 50 marketing leaders fighting for the same audience, right? Here you're building something like the category is ours to define. And auto repair is just really refreshing. So it was a big change. I had to learn a ton about this space, very intentional about spending time with our founder CEO, who I report to, who was an auto repair shop owner, dissatisfied with the technology that was in the market, created his own, and now he's built this amazing company. And really spending a lot of time with our customers and understanding and getting to know them. But it's a big shift for sure.
Wait, that's actually a really cool ingredient. Was that part of what was interesting? That for me, it's like, oh, I love when there's a connection. I mean, I wrote a whole book about this founder brand, but I like when you can tell the story of like, no, this person actually lived this. It wasn't like, no, they were like laying around with their college roommates. And you're like, no, we should make an app to get rich. Like, it's just different.
No, he ran a shop for over 10 years and was just frustrated with what was available, and then literally was like, I'm going to create something better. And he did. And now we are the largest cloud-based auto repair software platform in the industry, which is pretty amazing. And he's incredible. I mean, he has a really great pulse on the industry, still very involved in the day-to-day, especially with our customers and the product. On the marketing side, he's pretty hands-off, but he will tell me when he doesn't like something. And he'll tell me when he likes something, but he brings a perspective of actually being the person that we're targeting and talking to every day. And so he's a great sounding board and the first person that I'll go to pressure test something with.
It'd be interesting to see a study. Founders who come from the product side, there's always something. I have a bias towards those people because I feel like my skills as a marketer, I'm like, oh, you know this industry really well? Like, you know this product really well, I'll learn it too. But if I could be paired with you, and I have, because I think a lot of times when it's a non-traditional industry, where we struggle in marketing is like trying to like, you can't fake subject matter expertise is what I'm saying. And so much of so much of creating a brand and standing out, and so much of what it takes to be good at marketing, I feel is really related to like having a strong point of view, understanding the customer, having a deep understanding of the market. Do you kind of get what I'm getting at?
Totally. No, I 100% agree. It's helpful to have him, and he definitely has a pulse on it. And it actually is, it's great to walk into a company with an amazing product, a founder who's actually done it, a customer base that is ride or die for you and will support you, because that is the story, right? They understand what's going on, and what better than to actually do your marketing than your customers. And so I've been really fortunate to walk into that and just already to have that organic stuff happening within the company, within the DNA of, the leadership team and how the company has been built. And then customers that are willing to tell their story on their behalf. Because like I said, I knew nothing about auto repair. It was definitely a big education for me. But it's helpful when the ingredients are there on the table, and your job is really just to put them together and amplify them and take as much of that goodness out of, a founder like Sunil is his name, like a founder like Sunil, and our customers that are willing to talk about it for us all the time.
Can you break down your current marketing team? I don't really care about the numbers. And actually, I talked to a lot of VPs and CMOs, and some people are weird. It's like this. It's like almost the reverse thing. Like a couple of years ago, it'd be like, it'd be a flex. Like how many people on your team now? I'll do interviews with CMOs and like, actually, I don't want people to know how many people.
AI. We can't talk about how many people we have on the
Yeah.
team.
So, but I mostly care. I think people mostly want to know like, how do you have the team structured? How do you, bucket things? Can you give us a team overview?
I have a really amazing team of super smart people that are all way better at marketing than me, right? Like my job is to find all the best people. So we have a brand and community team. And so they support everything from our brand positioning, our narrative, our creative, our social. And they actually own advocacy and community because advocacy and community is a huge part of our brand and how we build it. We have a demand gen function that's responsible for top of funnel acquisition. So grabbing net new rooftops, as we call them at Tekmetric, which is really our North Star metric. And their job is to go out, everything from performance marketing to web to SEO, AEO, integrated marketing campaigns, find all the people that are not using Tekmetric and get them to raise their hand. We are standing up a customer and partner marketing team. So customer marketing is really right now focused on our expansion efforts. And so since I've been here, we've transitioned from a single product company to a multi-product company. So with that comes the need to actually drive demand within our customer base, but also to support things like training, retention efforts, working really closely with our product teams on product-led growth initiatives that we have going on. And then partner marketing, which is really field. We have a really great field team that works with our partners. And so there's a lot of parts providers in the auto repair space. And so our partner managers are paired with partner managers in the field from parts providers. They go into shops, actually boots on the ground and try and get people to sign up for demos in the field. And so our field and partner team, partner marketing team do a lot to help activate the territories in the field, but also work with our strategic partners from a co-marketing perspective. Let's see what else. We have an incredible events team. We do a lot of events in auto repair, like a lot. We have over 100 events that we do a year. And then we host our own, for the first time this year, had our first industry conference that we hosted. We had almost 1,000 people attend, which was wild. I didn't sleep for like 6 months when that was happening. And that was really, really fun. It was a moonshot event that we put out there and it worked. So we have events team. And then we also have a new product marketing muscle that we're building. So building out our product marketing team, and they're really supporting go-to-market orchestration, commercialization strategy, enablement of our go-to-market team. So, and the way that I look at that team is across the board, we have 4 pillars that we look at that are driving everything. 1 is build the brand. 2 is build the advocacy flywheel. 3 is land acquisition, and 4 is expand. And so if what you're working on doesn't roll up to one of those 4 pillars, stop doing it and focus on those 4 areas, our 4 core pillars of marketing at Tekmetric.
Nice. And those 4, because I was my question in my head was like trying to formulate a question around all the team stuff, but those 4 pillars, are those set from you? Do those come from the company? Where do they come from? Let's talk about that for a second.
Sure. Yeah. So we set them in marketing, but everything rolls down from our overall company strategy. So
the reason why I'm asking is I feel like whenever I'm certainly no expert at this, more of a thought leader than a marketer these days. But I feel like I like your 4 pillars because I feel like you need a marketing plan, but you almost need like a narrative first, because there's so many things that we could go and do this year. And I love when I talk to someone, you're like, yeah, we got the 4 pillars. It was like, what did you say? Yeah, build the brand, go through them again. Can you?
Yeah, brand, advocacy, land, and expand. Mm-hmm.
Because then it's like, okay, now we like wrote those down on a cocktail napkin, a Post-it note, the whiteboard. Then we can go decide. So that means we're going to go do this instead of that and do that. And I think I talk about this a lot where I feel like all these great marketing leaders that I get to hang around, like you, I mentioned Rob last week, you all usually have a narrative on how you're going to do marketing. It's not so incredibly channel focused. The product marketer is going to do this. It's like, here's kind of the way we're going. And then we're going to build the plan in around that.
Totally. Yeah. And I think, we love OKRs at Tekmetric, and a lot of people use that. But I think it's important to make a hard distinction between OKRs and KPIs. So you're talking about channel performance versus overall what we're trying to do. And so I think a lot of teams blur them and it creates confusion. So we look at OKRs as build the business and KPIs is run the business, or build the biz and run the biz.
All right,
So
give me an example. My
sure.
acronym brain is spinning. Give me an
Okay.
example of each.
So build the business is like capabilities and programs we're creating. They don't exist today, but they're required to get Tekmetric to that next stage of growth. And so an example would be, let's say right now we're working on building out our founder-led content, right? As one of our build the biz. We don't have a strong founder-led content motion today. We know that we have to move into brand creation, and brand and demand really, work hand in hand. And so that's one of the pillars that we're creating around category ownership, right? Of our OKR. We don't have that today. We know that we need to invest in it to build to the next stage of growth for next year. So what do we need to do this half to get there? Whereas a KPI is the ongoing operational metrics that keep the business and the engine running every day. So it's like, how is our paid media performing, right? Are we hitting the metrics that we need to hit there? So build the biz, create the things and capabilities that don't exist today that we need to exist in the future. KPIs is run the biz. What are the things that we need to do to make sure we keep the lights on?
How do you articulate your role on this team and organizing all these things? You report to the founder and CEO, but you got to run the team. You got to come up with these plays. Like, what's Claire's job here?
Oh God, that's a really good question. What is my job, Dave?
Yeah, it's a great. I don't know what is.
Oh,
I
goodness.
feel the same way most days, and then they're like, just do the podcast and you'll be okay.
Yeah. No, I get that. Let's see. What is my job? I mean, our job in marketing is to support the entire organization. I think it's interesting as a marketing leader. I think it's one of the few roles in a company where you're literally attached to everything that's happening.
Yeah, that's the question. That's the question that I'm
Right.
asking. To talk to the aspiring or your peers, VP of marketing. What do you realize the job is now versus maybe what it was 2 or 3 turns of your career ago?
Yeah, I mean, it's to tell the Tekmetric story and make sure that everybody that isn't using Tekmetric knows about us, whether they use us or not. And the customers that are using us are continuing to see value in what we're doing, and that we're getting our customers to results. Honestly, I think that's everybody's job across the organization. It's just how people do that individually is a little bit different. And so from a marketing perspective, we're responsible for telling that story, right? In every sense of the word, to get people to the results that they're trying to do. And my job as a marketing leader is obviously to orchestrate that across the organization, everything from employer branding with the people and culture team, to working with the product team on launches, to the sales team on making sure we have enough pipeline. I have to orchestrate that. But at the end of the day, the thing I think I'm learning in this role is it all comes back to finding the right talent on your team to build towards that, which has been, I think, a realization for me. So this is my first VP of marketing gig.
Yeah.
My background's in demand generation and growth, and I came up through that. This is the first time I've done the whole shebang. And if I could go back to Claire 3 years ago that thought she knew everything, I'd be like, oh, you have so much to learn. Because yes, there's marketing, and yes, there's creativity, and yes, there's understanding the metrics, but it really comes back to people and making sure you have the right talent on your team to help grow, and people that can grow along with the pace of the business, which is, I think, really challenging with how fast we're growing. Like I say to my team all the time, what got us here will not take us there. And we all have to be willing to reinvent ourselves, our teams, our roles every 3 to 6 months, because that's how fast we're changing as an organization. So talent, my job is to find the right talent and then orchestrate and support everybody, and then get out of their way to do their jobs, because they're all way better than me.
No, it's great to hear you say that. And I kind of chalk this up to one of those things that almost, you have children. There are certain things that like my parents used to do that I didn't understand or roll my eyes at. And now that I have my own kids, I'm like, oh yeah, that's why they did that. And I think I've had bosses, mentors, whatever, that like all they did was recruit people, manage a team. And I'm like, that's not the job. That's not the job. The job is to be great at marketing. It's like, no. It's like the obstacle is the way. That's the one thing that makes everything else easier. And I used to work for this guy, Mike Volpe, who was the CMO at HubSpot at the time. And he was like, I literally spend 90% of my day like working with people, recruiting, because that is the thing. The marketing stuff is easy. You can always figure out the marketing stuff. But if you don't have the right people on the team, and the right people can mean many different things. You might not have the deepest pockets. You might have to go. I always use this analogy, but like, you might have to make a dinner with like 3 eggs, an onion, and 2 pieces of bread in the fridge, and that's like all you can get. But you got to find somebody to do that.
Totally, totally. And it's like I look back at bosses that I've had where we've all had those thoughts. We're like, what do they do all day? Do they even know what I have going on? And now I'm like, oh my God, that's me. I'm that person where my team is probably like, I would love to get in a room and put together a really amazing campaign, right? And brainstorm ideas. And I do that. And I'll be the first person to roll up my sleeves, much to my team's chagrin. Sometimes they're like, oh, great, Claire's here with an idea. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm the idea person now. I'm the person that comes in and like messes everything up.
That's the job though.
But it is, but it's been, and I credit a lot, our founder, CEO, and our SVP of revenue and the other leaders that I work with really pushing me as a leader. Cause right now it used to be the best at this job. And that's how you move forward, right? Like be the best at demand. And now my job is to make sure I have the right leverage on the team to support the company moving forward. And that has been something I don't think I truly understood until I actually sat in the seat. And now I'm like, okay, I'm no longer graded on being the best demand marketer. It doesn't really matter. I'm graded and the success of my team is based off of, do we have the right people in place to move that company to the next stage of growth? And I think things have changed so quickly just with how fast we're growing and with AI and the type of people that we're looking for, and the personality type and like the work ethic and the high slope, can operate in ambiguity and the fog of war type of thing. It's hard to find. So yeah, I've learned a lot, and I look back at Claire 3 years ago and think, oh, she was so cute. She thought she knew. So I'm learning all the time still.
You have a bunch of open roles, so you're basically going to double your team over the second half of this year, which is interesting because if I open up LinkedIn, everyone tells me, or if I go to YouTube, everyone tells me that they're replacing the marketing team with Claude code, and yet I'm talking to the head of marketing at a successful vertical SaaS company who's like, actually, no, we're hiring 9 people right now.
So AI is important. I don't want to say that it's not. Obviously, Claude is my homie, right? We hang out a lot. We spend a lot of time together. Shout out to Claude. Pour one out for Claude. But I still think, what I'm seeing is like AI is great. We all know that we can leverage it to replace the things that took a lot of time, but we still need people to think. And we still need people to look at things and say, does this make sense? Do I actually understand our customer? Do I actually understand the numbers? Do we have the right foundation in place? So I do want people that are AI forward and AI fluent in how they're thinking, but I don't think that replaces the human component of being strategic and actually knowing who our customers are. We sell and market into at Tekmetric a very, very human industry. And so you have to actually know who those people are. And I don't think we still need humans to get deep on that.
Yeah. What's the tone and sentiment in your ideal what are the car dealership owners? How are they feeling about AI?
So a couple of things. Just this is what I've learned about auto repair. We don't target dealerships. Dealerships is a whole different flavor, Dave.
All right. Look, I don't work in this industry, so you're allowed to correct me. You can say whatever you do, the cars, whatever you do with the cars, the software in the cars. Yeah.
Totally. So, I think AI is
auto repair. How do auto repair shops feel about AI, Claire?
So, they're using it, right? Like there's a lot of repetitive things that happen within an auto repair shop that AI can help with, but they're also in customer service at the end of the day. They're constantly talking to customers. So, they're using it for things like appointment booking or email and text reminders or AI phone receptionists to call and know everything about your car. They're using the same way we are. Like, how do I look at my reporting? What am I missing? What's going on? And so, but the job itself, actually the manual work that a technician, which is what they're not called mechanics, they're called technicians, just so we all know, the work that technicians do still require people to be able to like fix cars manually, right? So right now it's not going to replace, I'm sure at some point there will be a robot, right, that can fix cars too, but it still requires somebody with the knowledge of a trade, right, to go in and be able to fix something. But they're looking at it in the same way as any other B2B business. What are the things that we do all the time that doesn't require a person that we could replace to be more efficient to get us to the results that we're looking to do?
What works marketing to this? We have this on our doc, the non-desk buyer, right? People who own these auto repair shops are not always at the desk. They're not on LinkedIn. They don't go to webinars. They don't often respond to cold outreach or email. How the heck? What have you learned? Give me like one or two plays that have worked to marketing to this audience.
Let's see. What have I learned with this audience? Well, there's a couple things. I'll give you some tactical examples. So Bing was one that just surprised me. Bing for paid search. The team was skeptical. Turns out shop owners use Microsoft Bing to do quite a bit of searching. So I think it's just a good reminder that don't assume your audience behaves like a default tech savvy B2B buyer. So that was like a specific channel.
Why is that? Is that just like the default browser installed on whatever their computer they're using?
Totally. I mean, it's like my parents are like, I don't use Chrome, I use Safari because it's on my computer and that's easier to use. And so I think it's the same idea. One of the biggest things about auto repair that surprised me, I just didn't know. It was just like, I didn't know what I didn't know. Do you know when you're like looking for a new car and all of a sudden you see that car that you're looking at everywhere on the highway and you've never seen it before? That's how I feel about auto repair shops now. I'm like, they're literally everywhere and I'm obsessed. I'm like, do they use Tekmetric? Who are they using? What's going on? I should stop in and look, but it's a very heavy coaching group industry. So there are these peer advisory groups for shop owners. If you think about, I'm a technician, I've worked in a shop. I want to try it on my own for the first time, but I've never run a business. I have no idea how to do that.
You know what's funny? Like this is literally it's Exit. The same company we have is Exit 5 for B2B marketing professionals. There's someone who influences auto repair shop owners. They need to learn how to run their business. Yeah, I love that.
Totally. And so they have a facilitator, they share financials, they have a coach, they put them into 20 groups, they're called, where there's like 15 to 20 operators in a room. They're not competing with each other, but they're talking about, how they run an auto repair shop.
So can you influence those people?
Totally. So that was really the early stage strategy at Tekmetric is it's basically a mastermind group for auto repair. So if Tekmetric gets endorsed inside one of those groups, it spreads like wildfire because the most trusted recommendation you can get is from a peer you respect, right? Who runs a business like yours, who's in a similar role as yours. So we didn't invent that channel, but we've definitely learned to work it intentionally. And it changed how we think about partner and community marketing. So and that's one I just didn't know about, but it makes total sense. It's just like Exit 5. And then that kind of leads to community. I believe that our customer community is our moat. We have over 6,000 customers. 16.
Yeah, this is crazy. This was in our doc. Tekmetric's real moat. They have 16,000 people in this Facebook community, 6,000 active in the Tekmetric user group, which is crazy.
It is crazy. So we have 16,000 customers.
16,000 customers
around the world it's called TUG, our Tekmetric user group. It's a Facebook group. Auto repair shops love Facebook. They love Facebook for everything. And so we have this user group and you have to have been a customer for 30 days. You can request to get in.
Who manages that? Somebody on your team?
Somebody on my team, along with the customer support. We have a Tiger team that really looks at it and tracks it. But I mean, everybody's in there. It's light on kind of management on purpose because we don't want to disturb the organic nature of the group. So you have, customers in there that are swapping tips and tricks about the product. You have people complaining about the product. You have people asking for things.
Is it like a support forum?
It is, but it isn't. Some people treat it like that.
Yeah, because I've always wondered, like a user, like a bunch of different people have shown examples of crushing it with a user group. As a community guy myself, as you know, Claire, I've just always wondered, like, what's the right angle? How does that not just become like, I'm posting in the HubSpot, community about like, why is this thing rendering in a weird way? Do you discourage that? Is it okay? How do you what's the lane that works for this community?
We don't discourage people. People are going to come and talk about what they want to talk about regardless, right? So I do think we've been intentional about trying to make sure that we transform it from a support forum into something closer to community as a product, right? When we're in there. So we definitely do surprise and delight gifting in there. We start, conversation threads similar to what you all do with Exit 5 today. But also the interesting thing is like our customers literally defend us to other customers in there. So like a customer might say, hey, I don't like this. Why doesn't Tekmetric have it? And someone will come in and say, of all the things that they do for you, this is what you
I love that.
And so
we need more of that. Yeah.
I think people are sometimes a little nervous about our user group, but I think it's awesome. Like, where other like what other place can you have 6,000 active customers to talk to, right? And to get feedback from. Our CEO is in there, our CTO is in there, our product team's in there, our marketing team's in there. And so, but they're literally our customers are answering questions for each other. They're supporting each other. So it's a wide range of topics. And so I think if you try and put too many rules on it, then it disturbs the organic nature of the group, and then people don't want to participate. So,
or like if you just pumped it full of, Tekmetric stuff, people would not use it in the same way, but you probably still can pick and choose spots to promote things like your event or whatever.
Totally. Yeah. We talk about Tectonic in there, but we're careful, right? It doesn't become like a marketing newsletter for us. We'll share things. Our product team will share things. It's part of our go-to-market, tiered bill of materials for our product launches of like, we have to make sure we post and tug. But I also remind the team, it's only 6,000 active members compared to 16,000 customers, right? So there's a lot of customers that aren't in there. But our customers ask each other questions. They share best practices. They troubleshoot. They fight with each other. They show us love. They tell us when they don't like something. I love it. I've never worked in an organization where we have it. And then Facebook, on the opposite side of our community, we do a lot of advertising on Facebook. And I would say, Meta ads aren't necessarily like a huge producer of leads for us, but the thread comments are wild. Like, it's like a shoe ad. It's like you post something and there's thousands of comments in there of people being like, I love Tekmetric. People being like, I don't like it at all. I wish they had this. And then you have our customers in public threads of paid ads defending us and then sharing their stories. And I'm like, that's it, right? Like it's unprompted. People are sharing what they like and don't like. They give our product team feedback. And then our customers rep for us. And so
yeah, it's interesting. You're almost in like my industry is marketing, and marketers are very vocal. It seems like this is a very vocal online, person that you're selling to. So these things are really important. And so you need to like open yourself up to those things versus fully control all of it.
Totally. Yeah, it's great. And so our job is to earn that trust from our customers, right? And then feed it, which is what we're really trying to do. So all that organic stuff happens on its own and continues to push us forward. So like, I love our customers.
Inevitably, when we talk about community, I think there's lots of companies that will listen to this and have an example of how a user group could work for them. Whenever I mention Facebook or the community platform, someone always says, why did you pick Facebook? My guess is you didn't pick it. It just started and it's grown and now you can't move it. Would you ever move it? Would that just be marketers trying to like measure it better? Any comments?
Yeah, I mean, like it would be because you do have limitations, right? Like you can't create subgroups and you're kind of stuck with it, but it's not a problem that I need to solve right now because people go there and that's where they live. And so we are going to listen to our customers. That's where they like to communicate. That's where they like to live. So sure, if we move to a community platform, would we have more capabilities? Yes, but getting 6,000 people to move to it probably won't happen, especially people that love Facebook. So we're going to keep it where it's at. There's no problem that we're solving by moving it. We would just be annoying marketers in tech trying to make something work for us instead of listening to our customers about what works for them. So
absolutely. I mean, it's just good. It's good advice, right? I used to work for a mentor of mine would always be like, is this a company problem or a customer problem? Meaning like, are we trying to, what's better for the customer? Are we trying to solve this so we can like measure it better and track it better? Or are they going to get plenty of value from where it's at? And it's nice, just refreshing to hear someone be like, nope, it's not an issue. We're not going to do it.
It's not an issue. And it's also like technology is not ever a blocker, in my opinion. So like, what problem are you actually trying to solve? And if the answer is tech, like the answer to that problem is we need new tech, like I'm really going to push on you. I'm going to say, is that actually the problem that we're trying to solve right now? Or, I think people just jump to solutioning. And sometimes tech is the answer. Let's get a new community platform, but like it's working. We have 6,000 active members that communicate. Sure, would we like things to be different in there and have more capability, but it's not, but it's working.
It seems like, if you have a big market, is demand gen like a big function of your like market? Like, do you need to acquire a certain number of leads every month? Is that a big part of your business? Or are you doing more like targeted outreach to auto repair shops that are not on you?
Totally. So demand gen has been a huge focus for us. I will say demand capture, relative to,
Can you talk about some of the mechanics of that? Like, I'm just curious, like what offers work, what calls to action? Like, I get that you're doing Bing and Facebook and all this stuff, but if you could talk about some of the like how you actually go and capture leads today, what's working?
So paid search is a big demand capture for us. Google's table stakes. Like I said, Bing was a surprise. Facebook, Meta, shop owners are heavy Facebook users. But also there's a lot of industry groups on Facebook outside of our actual user group, like shop owner groups that people join that we're in and we're tracking. Events and trade shows are big. I'm not going to share anything groundbreaking, I guess. Like this is just like
But are you trying to book is it like I'm trying to book a meeting with a shop owner? And then what do you, is it just, hey, book a meeting and we're going to teach you how to improve your shop? Is there what's the offer? Is it like talk to sales? What gets people on the phone with you?
Is book a demo right now. I hate to say it. I wish I had a more exciting answer, but ours is really, our main CTA is to book a demo, test the product, try it out for yourself, and get in the door. I think what we're seeing happen is right now we are capturing most of the the group that's in demand, right? They're looking for something. We're capturing everybody. If you're looking for an auto repair shop platform, between what we're doing on search and paid and social, we're finding you. We're starting to move more into that demand creation. Like we're capturing everybody that wants something. We need to create more demand, which comes back to brand and comes back to community. So there's been a lot of focus for us on, content, stories, customer testimonials, YouTube. We have a YouTube docuseries called Under the Lift that I'm super passionate about, that tells our customers' origin stories, has nothing to do with Tekmetric or our software, but just tells their stories. And so it's a little bit longer tail of a play, right? Where you have to play that game, but you're trying to create that demand. So we can capture it with the really strong demand capture systems that we have in place.
Okay, I got it. So you have the product works. You have a lot of social proof and success with it. The product is really good. Marketing's job here is to basically, we need to tell more people that this thing exists and can help them, and then they will book demos. It's interesting how many earlier stage companies I talked to where so many of the problems that seem like marketing channel problems are actually product market fit problems. You know what I mean?
No, we have an amazing product. It is much easier to do marketing when you have great product market fit, a great product, and customers that love you. Like honestly, like I'm a lucky marketing lady. We have those ingredients there. I've worked for organizations before where you don't have great product market fit and marketing has to work even harder and the strategy is a little bit different. We have great product market fit. We have customers that love us. We just need to convince part of the market that isn't quite ready to make the change, which I think is interesting about this. It's if you're looking for an auto repair shop software, you've heard of us and you've talked to us and you're probably using us. Otherwise, you've been using something for 25 to 30 years in your shop and you're good with it because it works. Like I've had conversations with shop owners and they said, listen, I know who you are. I'm sure what your product does is better than what I have today, but I've been doing this for 35 years and this works for me. So it's more about change management and trying to get people there. And that's a much harder thing. So again, like coming back to community and hearing from other shop owners about what they're doing and the success that they saw is really where we're leaning in.
Yes, it's probably like a lot of, they would always say like the biggest competitor is like a spreadsheet or like a notepad, in some industries, right? Pen and paper
Or server based on-prem.
Tell me about this. This says a lot about your internal culture. Tell me about Tekmetric University for new hires and Tekmetric for every employee.
Totally. So you asked like, how did I get up to speed on auto repair? Not coming from it. So we have our people and culture team does a great job. Every new hire has to complete or get really ongoing employees. We have a Tech U, which is Tekmetric University, regular courses that are there to help teach people about the industry, about the product. Our onboarding, you come to Houston where we're headquartered for the first week. And part of that is shop visits too. So you go to shops, you meet the customers. That's a really cool thing about working here. So in cybersecurity, I would never meet a CISO outside of a trade show, and they didn't want to talk to people anyways, right? Like their job is to keep people out, and then marketing's trying to get in. I can look up on our internal tracker all the Tekmetric customers within, 30 miles of where I live, and I can call them and I can say, hey, I'd love to come into your shop today. Just stop by, say hi. Is it okay if I stop by today? And usually the answer is yes. And so we also have something called Tech Treks internally, where all employees are encouraged and have a stipend monthly to go visit a customer shop, bring them swag, bring them food, ask them how it's going, and just learn.
Yeah. So you're a bunch of these new marketing hires that you're going to bring on, are they going to go and do this as part of onboarding?
Absolutely. They'll visit Tekmetric shops. They'll complete Tekmetric University. There's a very vested interest in the organization that, as you get bigger, when you start, everybody knows everything. Everybody knows the product. Everybody knows the industry. And as you add people, you lose that tribal knowledge. So the company has been very intentional about investing in people and making sure that they have that information. And listen, I don't like cars. Like I'm not a car person, but I love our customers. Like I absolutely love
I
our
don't
customers.
like cars.
I'm not a car person. Like, I drive a Hyundai Palisade. I'm like a mom. I'm just a mom mobile. I'm like, whatever.
Whoa. Hyundai's a big sponsor of the show. Relax
I
with
love
the
my
drive-by.
Palisade. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, my whole thing about cars is like, does it get me from point A to point B with all of my kids' sports stuff? And is it paid off? But when you think about our customers, they're second generation operators, legacy businesses, family owned shops, people that are like super proud of their craft and fiercely protective of their independence. And so, our job at Tekmetric is to make sure they have every advantage to continue to have a thriving business. And when you meet them and you hear their stories, it's so refreshing, especially coming from other industries that I've been in.
Well, I think it was cool to hear you lay it out that way, because I think in order to be great at marketing, you have to have a deep understanding of your customer. Okay, no kidding, Dave, but it's hearing you articulate it at that level. And I think we live in a world now where it's like very easy to like, oh, I'm listening to call recordings, I'm reading call transcripts. Yep, I understand the customer. There's a different feeling than walking into an auto repair shop. What do you see? What do you smell? What does it feel like? What does it look like? Pairing that with then like, or is this person going to click on this ad that we're running? Like, I feel like that's where that's how the sausage gets made, right?
Right. Yeah. Our buyers are not on LinkedIn. They're literally never going to download anything.
Right.
Ever.
It's like walk into the shop and then match, like take all of our marketing touch points and match it. Be like, is that person really going to like go to this webinar? And of course not. So let's not do that. Let's do this instead. Like,
yeah. And it's like, how did you learn about this? Well, my buddy down the street was using you, or I saw you at a trade show, and they can name the people. The first trade show I went to for Tekmetric when I started, because I went to a lot of events just to get FaceTime with customers to understand the space. I had a customer walk up to me and I said, oh, hey, I'm Claire. Nice to meet you. And they said, I'm shop number 1792. That's how they identified themselves. And I was like, what? And they're like, that's my shop ID. So when you join Tekmetric, you get a Tekmetric ID. People are so proud of their shop IDs, right? Like that's a real thing. And so I think that's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to get our customers, and they do it already, to be able to represent for us. And the fact that someone will walk up to me and introduce themselves with their shop ID before they actually share their name is something to pay attention to. So I just think, again, community is so important. And when you think about building a community flywheel, it's like being authentic. Like, then how do you become the authority? And then that true long-term play is peer-to-peer advocacy at scale, where they're actually, unprompted representing Tekmetric, and they feel like they are part of the brand.
It seems like you really get it. Like, and that comes from the founder on all the way down. The way to build community and advocacy is having a great product, yes, but also to letting those things happen on their terms, right? If you over-engineered this like Facebook community, it wouldn't work. If anyway, Claire, this was great. This is great. You're going to get I hope you get a bunch of messages, because here my call to action is if you also work in a what do we call this in the beginning of our show? It was a different switch from cybersecurity, right? If you work in I guess technically they call this like mid-market SaaS, verticalized SaaS.
Horizontal. I'm in vertical SaaS. They would call it horizontal SaaS, right?
What is that? What I don't know what that means.
I don't even know. Who knows what anything means anymore? It's all different. At the end of the day, marketing is pretty simple. I think it's like know your customer, right? Like
I think the marketing is simple. I think people are the challenging part. Internal teammates, like all of my issues are like, and this is not even now. It's all people. People on the team, stakeholders inside the company. The head of product you got to work with who doesn't really like you. The head of sales who likes you but is crazy. There's just like so many factors to like.
Yeah, for the record, I love our head of sales and our head of product. I do think that's an important thing. So I'm just going to say it on record.
Say it on record. I mean, it's no surprise. It's a common trend between companies who get marketing at this way, strong founder, the brand, they understand the product, came from that deep level of expertise. It's typically the companies that are like a little bit more later stage and you kind of have like very siloed orgs where it's just kind of cutthroat, where every exec has their own different OKRs that they're trying to hit and achieve their bonus based on that. And then otherwise they don't really care.
Yeah, I think it's different here. And I think the interesting thing about a vertical SaaS market too is just like the growth opportunities with it. Like there's 250,000 auto repair shops in the US. We're the largest cloud-based player and we only have 5% of the market share and we're growing 50% year over year. Like that's insane. Like in cybersecurity, by the time you're the leader, you've got 30 to 40% share and 20 competitors eating your lunch. And here the runway is huge. And we have a really great a super rad customer base and a growth rate I think most SaaS companies would kill for. So it's really exciting and also a reminder of like we still have a lot of work to do in front of us.
But that's cool. That's a cool. A lot of people are thinking about jobs, career stuff. Maybe look for like a head of marketing, a VP of marketing at a company in a bit more of a non-traditional industry and space, and you can have a lot of runway to do some cool stuff. Claire, thanks for coming on our podcast. I've enjoyed getting to know you, one of our executive members. If you want more peers, if you want to have people like Claire in your peer network, you should reach out. We have this really cool executive community. Claire's been a part of that, and I'm spending more of my time doing podcasts with our members because I don't know. I like geeking out on what you're doing and hearing what fires you up at work. So
totally. Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, 2 weeks of summer. Good luck. Good luck surviving the last 2 weeks till we get back. Everybody get back into school. Get a little bit more routine going.
You too. All right. Thanks, Dave.